Okay, so this is going to be my last video before I'm no longer online anymore because of what the government has done to my ability to use an internet or a phone or even drive a car anymore. I can't even have a license anymore. They were somehow able to sabotage my entire life and take it away from me for absolutely no legitimate reason or law or order or any type of immortal, um, reasoning of any type of, care or trust in humanity or righteousness. So complete corruption has done this to me, and that is what the government is. So I just want to go into this really, really special information that I just received. I think these are the people that are really obsessed with, humiliating and wounding the welfare system as well as the law itself, to where anybody that is not accepted by this cult of the Vatican and the government and the military is ostracized, and they are alienated, and they're not unable to provide for themselves or care for themselves because the government doesn't allow them to have access to any resources unless they go through a psychiatric drug treatment, that most people in no way, shape, or form should ever get near, and basically become their zombie slaves. So these people, that are trying to carry on the world as their own now and their own government, we all kind of, I think, in society have heard of the New World Order, are forming these new courts that are, in my opinion, a challenge to the originating, legal agreements that were made hundreds of years ago that have not been changed and that have not been voted for an actual change. So they're very snaky, and they're very cunning, and they're trying to sneak in and formulate these new court systems that are basically slowly cutting out the originating plan for humanity internationally as well as locally, for law and order and government. One of these courts, in particular, that I'm going to read from. So I'm going to the light's going to go down. You're not going to be able to see me for a second, but I'm going to still be speaking. Okay, is what I'm reading from, and I'm reading from their website where they explain the symbol of the ITNJ's logo. Okay, so their logo has a couple of symbols attached to each other, which manipulates the human idea of how creative power is formed and how it's regulated within a human and its creator. Okay, and they're purposely, mocking the creation, which I believe is from God and through Jesus Christ, in order to darken the idea of Christ, in order to darken the idea of God and its creation and the love of God for its creation, and act as if they are the creative power of human mind, and act as if they are the ultimate idea of what should or shouldn't be, and to also challenge any type of originating law and order within our court system, within our judicial system, not just in the United States and Canada, but also worldwide, so they can become the new world order. So this particular document, okay, was signed by Sacha Stone, the founder of this corrupt attempt to take over the legal system of the world and the laws and the court systems of the world, okay? And I say that with great authority, and I say that with great power and great confirmation, because that is exactly what this man, Sacha Stone, is trying to do and represent here. If you look at the history of who this man is and his history with the government and the law and the Vatican and the Jesuits, you will very clearly understand why I am saying what I'm saying right now. So the question is on the FAQ is, what is the symbolism of the ITNJ logo? Okay. Now, I just took out some key points here. I'm not reading the entire document. Okay. I particularly wanted to highlight and speak on these particular points and kind of expose who this man is and what his intention is with misusing the words of humans. Okay. Because this is how the government has enslaved people into ideas that are false ideas and false understandings of existence for hundreds of years, is they take a truth and they turn it into a false understanding. They take the context of that truth out. They take the actual application of that truth out, that it was intended when it was spoken into existence, and they make it into something that supports something very similar to it, but not, that can make people think they have more power by listening to them. Okay, this is the theology of the Vatican. This is the theology of these governing powers that are trying to take over human brains through, electronic manipulation on a daily basis. Okay, this is their founding principle of existence. Okay, so I just want to kind of expose this as he wrote it. What is the symbolism of the ITNJ logo? The pine cone motif in the ITNJ's logo denotes the pineal gland. In Homo sapiens, it is the organ within the human brain which connects our mechanical intelligence to our meta-intelligence. So right there, pause, okay? Right there, Sacha is going ahead and promoting and concluding that our intelligence is now connected to a meta-intelligence, that we are no longer connected to our inner man, for a Christian, it would be Jesus Christ. But for somebody that's not a Christian, I'm speaking for all of us, okay? Because we all have the gift of freedom from God. Who you think you got it from, it doesn't matter. But for this man right here, he is going ahead and teaching all these people that are going to be under this tribunal court, which are going to be led by this tribunal court, which is in particularly created to control the human trafficking understanding of child sex slavery. Okay, so this man is intended purpose of this whole tribunal court system that he has created is to legalize child sex, and is to teach the opponents, and as well as the administrators and participants in child sex, that their brain is now controlled by meta-intelligence. Okay, let's continue on. So then it continues to say our capacity to see outside the box, to step outside the proverbial matrix. Okay, pause. So I'm skipping around here because I'm not interested in divulging in all my, understandings of this man's words. I want to focus on these particular parts right here. And then if you are actually interested in learning more about who this man is and what he's trying to do to the world, you can figure it out yourself. That's not my job, okay? So the proverbial matrix. So he can't use his own word because his wisdom is not his own. He has to now use the biblical terms so he can feel like he is established and supported in his theory of something that was already established before his brain was ever even developed. And then he uses the word matrix. Well, matrix is a very ancient word, and it donates to the comfort and the womb, the thing that is surrounding and comforting the individual object of affection. So that is what matrix means, okay? So for him to use these words, he is now trying to elude people's understanding of Christ once again, because he can't come up with his own intelligence, and speak of our intelligence as some type of, now a godly understanding, an ancient godly understanding. So we go from the meta-intelligence back to the proverbial matrix, okay? It's so obvious that this man has such a split understanding of everything, and is subjected to such a corrupted understanding of principle and who's in charge and who's not in charge. I don't know how anybody couldn't see that, okay? And that is exactly what the government, the New World Order, is split into. It's split into the old queen, and it's split into the Vatican, okay? The Black Ops, the Jesuits. So this is exactly the language that this man knows, and he doesn't understand people that are more intelligent than him and have more power than him can clearly see what he is bounded to. So the language of law, okay? This is his very precise way of trying to expose his superiors by making everybody that's reading this think that he is somehow giving you more freedom if you just choose his side in the whole thing. Because once again, this man's purpose in making this whole tribunal court and making this whole, symbolism and, idea of human trafficking is to make human trafficking legal. The language of law has been and continues to be a veiled language. Okay. By its very design. The misuse of words and meanings equates to spellbinding. The ritualized magic. Now I want to pause right there. Magic is spelled in the English interpretation of the most ancient way of writing it, which is the Hebrew, okay? I don't know if the Aramaic had the same copy, and that's not the point, so let's not start going that deep in this. But the magic is, he particularly spelled it as M-A-J-I-C-K. That law has been subverted toward, has not served humankind. So now we're going back into his real feelings about this whole thing and what he is trying to get people manipulated into believing in his matrix of understanding and in human comforts, that you can't trust what the law has said. It's misleading you. It's trying to bind you. It's trying to trick you as if he is now the man to trust. That law has been subverted toward, has not served humankind, but has contrarily conspired to divide us from our higher expression. So now all of a sudden, this man is now concerned with our higher expression and creative power, when in the beginning of this, he subjected us to a mechanical intelligence of meta-intelligence. So once again, this man is contradicting everything that he's saying he's trying to do, and he is split in two different directions from the gods that he obviously serves. Continuing on, the ITNJ is breaking these invisible bonds. Wow, here he is now, the Jesus, the one that breaks the bonds, the one that sets the prisoners free. Here we go again, okay? And repurposing the language of law. Wow. So this man is now going to become the law. He's going to now teach you what law is all about. So the last part I'm going to expose, and then I'm going to wrap this up before they do something to my phone. Pure truth is not by degrees. Well, that's not true. And where it is enshrined will ever serve to anchor the heavens to the causal. Okay, so now he is trying to say, once again, that he's back in the heavenly realm. He's back in the eyesight of God. He's back in the purpose of God, and that is who serves, even though that is what he just said two paragraphs before that I just read, that is stopping him from reaching his higher creative power. So once again, his entire statement contradicts everything it says afterwards and before, and he is split in two different directions. He's serving two gods that are not God, and he has an intentional motive here, a probative motive to deceive and to, destruct and pervert the law. This man, Sacha Stone, has no interest in a heavenly realm. He doesn't come from heaven. He doesn't even believe in Jesus Christ. This man, Sacha Stone, has absolutely no interest in your creative power or to protect any child on this earth. This Sacha Stone is trying to become the God in the law so he can control who gets to have sex with children and not. Make it like a new bait for humans. This is a closing statement from Lauren Roop. Thank you.